Hello there, good evening to you. Welcome to News Tonight live on GHOne television. I am Tutuwaa Danso. Coming up this evening, Interpol takes ex-finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta off red notice list permanently. Office of the Special Prosecutor in agreement. Tonight, we take a look at the way forward. Also coming up, tanker explosion in eastern region leaves several injured. We have the details coming up shortly. Acts to alleged sexual exploitation videos between a foreigner and some Ghanaian women activating a cross-border probe.
Ghanaians are so trusting sometimes, and you see that some of the girls were just naive.
And later, EIB Networks, Kasapa FM and Ago TV hits the streets in a show of love and compassion, marking Valentine's Day. And on the foreign front, Burundi President-elect AU chair sets agenda on water, security and unity. We have the details of these and many other stories making up the 60 Minutes broadcast. Please stay with me. Thank you very much for your time this evening on News Tonight. I am Tutuwaa Danso. This evening, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is collaborating with security agencies and international partners following reports that a foreign national allegedly recorded and circulated intimate videos of Ghanaian women without their consent. In a statement issued on Saturday, February 14, the ministry said preliminary information suggests that the suspects may no longer be within Ghana's jurisdiction. However, the ministry insists this does not diminish the seriousness of the alleged conduct or states' obligation to pursue accountability. Here is Gender Minister Dr. Agnes Namumulati.
Actions have commenced, and prior to these videos coming up, we had commenced discussions with the Ministry of Communication, and where a technical team was being formed to look at all of these cyber issues, violence and abuse and all of that. I would say that yesterday, or I would say that the 3 days that this issue came up, it's an awakening call. Ghanaians are so trusting sometimes, and you see that some of the girls were just naive. We are so trusting because that is how we were brought up. I'll beg my young ones coming up. The world is not as we see it. The world has become dangerous. So wherever you are, even in the midst of familiar faces, ensure that your safety is paramount. I will urge us to stop sharing the pictures and the videos. It is not good. You might think that it is fun sharing it, but from where I sit, people can lose their lives because of that. On the side of the ministry, we are collaborating with all the security agencies to ensure that we pull down and then bring the perpetrator to book.
Away from that, let's talk about one of our leading stories this evening, because Ghana's former finance minister, Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta, has been permanently removed from Interpol's red notice list following a ruling by the Commission for the Control of Files, CCF, that the notice was predominantly political and non-compliant with Interpol rules. The notice stated that after a thorough examination of the elements before it, the Commission found that the challenged data registered by the Interpol National Central Bureau of Ghana were not compliant with Interpol's rules and decided that they should be deleted from Interpol's information system. However, the Office of the Special Prosecutor says subsequent developments made the notice unnecessary. Let me run you through excerpts of that statement, and it says that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has received the decision of the Commission of the Control of Interpol's files concerning the red notice issued at Ghana's request for Mr. Kenneth Nanayao Uforiata. The Commission directed the deletion of the notice under Interpol's rules on political neutrality and notice processing, citing contextual factors at the time of issuance, including polarized political statements from members of current and former administrations about the conduct of the investigation, as well as public controversy surrounding prosecutorial and extradition processes, including public acknowledgements by the senior officials at the Ministry of Justice of an inability at the time to pursue the extradition due to the early procedural stage of the case. It further observed that subsequent developments made the notice unnecessary as Mr. Uforiata's location was unknown, cooperation with U.S. authorities was ongoing, and extradition processes had already initiated following his arrest in the United States on January 6, 2026. Summons issued by the Criminal Division of the High Court in Accra have been transmitted for service in the United States, requiring his appearance to answer multiple criminal charges. Now, efforts to secure his appearance continue through established legal and democratic channels. The OSP reiterates that it remains guided solely by law and evidence, is committed to due process and the fair, lawful and impartial prosecution of corruption and corruption-related offences. We will have a conversation with a private legal practitioner on what this means for the country and for Mr. Uforiata legally. But before we do that, let's take a look at some worrying developments where two siblings have been discovered dead in an open pit filled with water within a newly developed house compound in Abokobi, a suburb of Somanya in the eastern region. Now, the victims have been identified as 8-year-old Jason Mensah, a Class 2 pupil, and 9-year-old Nathaniel Ayenokofi, a Class 3 pupil. Both attended some solo preparatory school at Odumase Krobo. Now, the incident occurred on Thursday, February 12, 2026, around 6 p.m. And according to family members, the boys had returned home from school as usual. Their mother, who was at her shop at the time, received a call from the children who complained of hunger. She advised them to eat some rice that had already been prepared at home. However, when she later closed from work and returned home, the children were nowhere to be found, and their grandmother, Doris Tete, recounted that the boys would normally run to welcome their mother whenever she arrived home, but on that day, there was no sign of them. Alarmed by the absence, the family members began searching the compound and the surrounding areas. Now, the situation took a tragic turn when their slippers were found near an uncovered manhole within the compound. A search around the area led to the discovery of the lifeless bodies of the two boys in the water-filled pits. They were removed and rushed to the hospital, but were pronounced dead on arrival. Somanya District Police Commander Superintendent Kingsley Abrokwa said an investigation has commenced into the incident. From the Eastern region, let's go to the Ashanti region now, where the Ministry of Defense has sent a high-level delegation to visit a 25-year-old woman who remains unconscious after a stampede during a military recruitment exercise in Kumasi last year, November. Now, Sandra Boateng, who aspired to join the Ghana Armed Forces, has been on admission at the Konfanoti Teaching Hospital, with her family struggling to cope with mounting medical bills. Ashanti regional correspondent Isaac Justice Bidiako reports.
On November 12, 2025, Sandra Boateng and 4 others were critically injured during a stampede at a military recruitment exercise in Kumasi. While other 4 victims have since been treated and discharged, Sandra remains unconscious and in critical condition at the Konfanoti Teaching Hospital. Her family says they have spent more than 70,000 Ghana cedis on medication alone as doctors continue efforts to stabilize her condition. In response to the incident, the Ministry of Defense dispatched a delegation to visit Sandra at the hospital and later met with her family at Isansi near Tanoso in the Ashanti region. The delegation, led by the General Officer Commanding Central Command, Brigadier General Albert Oganga. Other members included Lieutenant Colonel Jinuni Emmanuel, Commanding Officer of the Infantry Battalion, and Brigadier General Benga, a Principal Staff Officer of the Ministry of Defense, among others. According to Brigadier General Benga, the visit was to assess Sandra's condition and brief government on the necessary support to offer the family. Sandra's mother, Mercy Boateng, also briefed the delegation on her daughter's condition, describing the emotional and the financial toll.
Ujina nenchanya ohu se ebia me na mejina ho ya na se na first no de no da ho se base se ujina ne ha bonso move ni ti no aba ha boko oya usa ko ha no ma na ase obehwe nipa kura ujina ne ho se de wo mu se si ano no ye de aduane efa ne.
Following the visit, Brigadier General Benga described Sandra's condition as critical.
It's difficult. I'm not a medical person, but the fact that she has still not been able to speak means that it is bad. That's the way I can describe it. We have seen the condition of the patient. We have visited the family. We have told them the message they gave us, and we'll go back and report and move towards the next step.
He disclosed that one of the government's immediate plan is to recruit a qualified member of Sandra's family into the Ghana Armed Forces as part of the support measures.
Immediately is a replacement for this casualty. The military is prepared to replace the person, but must be basically qualified, age between 18 and 25, medically fit by Armed Forces standards, and should have the educational certificates. We are ready to even carry away the certificates today if they bring it. Then we replace and the family might be happier than the way the situation is now.
Sandra's father, Boateng, expressed appreciation for the government's gesture, but appealed to the authorities to prioritize his daughter's urgent medical needs.
The woman said they are more fun on here, but they were down here. Name quantity means Yamia Jenefri, who Nakayarsa. The Madauroma, Quambia Mbefasoa, Mobile Cocora, and Yabroa. Na Yanya Ban. The
Ministry of Defense says it will continue to monitor Sandra's condition and determine further assistance in the coming days. Reporting for GHOne News, Isaac Justice Bidiako, Ultimate FM, Kumasi.
Let's return to our earlier story where Ghana's former finance minister, Mr. Furiata, has been deleted from the Interpol's red notice list following concerns by CCF that the notice was issued under political basis and also it was predominantly non-compliant with Interpol's laws. I've now been joined by a private legal practitioner, Justice Abdullahi, for a conversation on the back of this. Council, good evening to you. First of all, help us understand what this request for deletion of Mr. Ofori-Atta's name from Interpol's red lists mean legally.
Effectively, it means that now
does this in any way affect that case, and does it provide any positive outlook for him, you know, with regards to the ongoing trial when it comes to his immigration woes in the USA?
Indeed, I would say that this is a huge booster for Ken Ofori-Atta.
Right.
Remember, the case he is currently faced with in the United States is essentially there are two angles to them. One being the extradition, which I had predicted that indeed he was going to defend himself, relying extensively on the issue of the political persecution, among other things.
Right.
This same defense is likely to be seen in the what's it called? The second leg of the issue, i.e., his visa overstay and the possible removal from the soil of the United States. He's likely to push this agenda strongly, particularly now that Interpol has affirmed that indeed matters occurring in Ghana in relation to his criminal records were predominantly politically motivated, among other things. He's going to rely on this as a booster and is definitely going to have an influence on the possible outcome of the two different cases that he's currently going through in the United States.
Right. But, you know, realistically, a lot of people have been asking for his return back to the jurisdiction. Looking at all the dynamics at play, will we see Mr. Ofori-Atta come back home anytime soon?
I think we are better off being measured in our expectations.
Right.
The extradition process itself takes a while. The immigration issues that he's going through, on average, could take about a year or two. And so any expectation that he'll be home anytime soon should be measured.
Now, beyond the issue in the USA, back home in Ghana, he's facing 78 counts of corruption and corruption-related offences. Does this issue or does this, you know, request from Interpol affect the case back home as well? Or these are two separate cases?
But all the cases are not, in fact, they are not related at all, if you like. However, each of it has some form of connection or the other to do with the other. And so even though the Interpol decision will not have any impact on the merits of the case here in Ghana, but it would definitely, anyone reading it would definitely be influenced by the thoughts that indeed Ken Ofori-Atta was being criminally being prosecuted so extensively on the basis of political influence. And so it's a narrative that unfortunately will go in his favor going forward.
I see. Thank you so much for your time this evening on News Tonight. You just had my conversation with a private legal practitioner, Justice Abdullah. You are still watching News Tonight live on GHOne television. I am Tutuwaa Danso. We return with more stories after this break. You're welcome back from the break. This is still News Tonight live on GHOne television. I am Tutuwaa Danso. Now, aviation security has taken center stage in Ghana as stakeholders across governments, aviation authorities and international partners converge to reinforce safety, trust and public confidence in air travel. At a high-level launch in Accra, the Aviation Security Culture Week was officially opened, renewing Ghana's commitment to global aviation safety standards amid evolving security threats.
Aviation remains one of the fastest growing sectors of Ghana's transport industry, connecting the country to global markets and opportunities. But with growth comes risks and the need for constant vigilance. At the launch of Aviation Security Culture Week, government and industry leaders stressed that safety and security are not optional but foundational to sustaining public trust in the air travel. Transport Minister Joseph Bukari-Nikwe said Ghana, as a signatory to the Chicago Convention, cannot afford to lag behind in global aviation security standards.
Let us remember that aviation security is a shared responsibility, and that is why the slogan of this week's event, see it, say it, secure it, that we work collectively to ensure that we create a safe, secure environment for our traveling public.
Managing Director of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Yvonne Nana Ifrio Parry, described the launch as a major milestone, aligning Ghana with International Civil Aviation Organization global security culture initiatives.
Our airports are national assets. They must be protected at all times with unwavering commitment against acts of terrorism and unlawful interference.
From regulatory front, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority welcomed the initiative, describing it as timely and critical.
We therefore need the collective sacrifice of all efforts and cooperation by the various stakeholders in the aviation industry, and therefore the development and preservation of a strong security culture is one of such many measures.
Representing the International Civil Aviation Organization's Regional Director for West and Central Africa, Ademola Oladele praised Ghana's strong oversight capacity and commitment to aviation security.
Our adversaries are continually seeking to exploit gaps and vulnerabilities in our systems to launch attacks. Enhanced security is therefore necessary to protect people, property, as attack on civil aviation could lead to major disruptions, economic consequences, and a total loss of public confidence.
Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Eric Ajin Frimpong, described aviation as a high-risk environment that demands constant readiness.
The guiding principle, see it, say it, secure it, reminds us that security is strengthened when each person takes ownership of their role.
As Aviation Security Week unfolds, stakeholders say the message is clear. Safety is not the duty of a few, but the responsibility of all. With the guiding principle, see it, say it, secure it, Ghana is aiming to entrench a strong, resilient security culture that protects lives, assets, and confidence in the nation's skies.
Let's talk about education now, because improving learning conditions remain a key pillar of Ghana's education agenda, especially in underserved districts. In the Bole district of the Savannah region, thousands of pupils are set to benefit from a major intervention aimed at easing furniture shortages in public schools. Over 4,000 desks, and chairs have been delivered, bringing relief to classrooms long affected by overcrowding and inadequate learning facilities.
The intervention is designed to reduce the furniture deficit in schools and create more conducive learning environment for pupils. It formed part of a broader government policy aimed at improving teaching and learning conditions across the country. Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy, Yusuf Sulemana, has presented over 4,000 pieces of school furniture to the Bole District Directorate of the Ghana Education Service for distribution. Kurabaso Junior High School, designated as WAEC Examination Center, will receive additional furniture to ensure the smooth conduct of examinations.
I have evidence where even on the floor of Parliament I had made some requests, but were not given. God be so wonderful. His Excellency has come back to power. And of course, it's only appropriate that those who were neglected now be given the opportunity to also get their quota.
The MP, a trained teacher by profession, reaffirmed his strong personal commitment to education, describing it as the backbone of national development.
We have made a commitment that by the close of this year, there shouldn't be a school in this constituency without furniture. We have been neglected for quite a long time, and we have just started. The first recommendation is that all junior high schools must all be given enough furniture.
The Bole District Director of Education, Richie Sapaga Achinari, expressed gratitude to the MP and the government, describing the support as timely and overdue.
We were being neglected for long, as the MP has stated. And we were, if you entered our classroom, you really see that the children were suffering, lying on their floors, their bellies to write, which is not conducive. And I hope with this initiative coming our line will really go a long way to boost their morale.
He said the intervention will significantly improve classroom conditions across the district and appeal for further logistical support, including pickup vehicle and motorbikes, to enhance the work of education officers.
You're still watching News Tonight live on GHOne television. Up next on the broadcast is the Business Brief.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
In business this evening, at dawn in Yamfo, traders arrive with hope tucked between baskets of tomatoes and smoked fish. Yet they work daily in conditions that test both dignity and health. For years, mud, leaking roofs and rotten wooden stalls have defined life at the Yamfo market in the Tano North in the Bunu region. Now, that story may finally change as a promise of renewal raises fresh optimism among traders who have waited for too long.
Yamfo Market, one of the oldest and busiest trading centers in the Tano North, has for decades operated under harsh and unsanitary conditions. A cluster of aging wooden structures with rusted roofing sheets and weak foundations, the market becomes nearly impassable during the rainy season as muddy grounds disrupt trade and expose food items to health risk. Describing the situation as unacceptable, the Member of Parliament for Tano North, GHOne, has announced bold plans to completely redevelop the market into a modern hygienic facility.
We need to do something to uplift the image of the Yamfo market, because anyone who is known in this area knows that if you are talking about one of the oldest and the biggest communities that we have around, Yamfo has a name. In fact, the immediate past president of the Regional House of Chiefs is the Omahene of Yamfo. There are two paramounces in the Tano North municipality or constituency, Yankwanta and Yamfo. So if anybody comes to Yamfo and sees that our market is in such a condition, it doesn't go well for us.
His interventions began in 2024 when he supplied chippings to temporarily stabilize the muddy floors. While the measure offered short-term relief, the MP says the time has come for a permanent solution that reflects the historic importance and dignity of Yamfo.
I've been looking around to think about how best we can help to put the Yamfo market into good shape. And by the grace of God, we have been blessed to mobilize some resources. And so I decided that in my first year, getting into my second year, I have to begin the redevelopment of the Yamfo market.
Since assuming office, Bako has intensified efforts to mobilize resources for a full facelift. He has engaged traditional authorities and community leaders, stressing that although lawmaking is his core mandate, meaningful development for his constituents remains a personal priority.
And then on top of it, put pavement blocks on the floor such that when it rains, the mud will not be around, and also the market to become pleasant to trade at. That is basically what we are going to do. So in the next few months, we have pleaded with the chiefs and the people at the market to give us the space. What we need now is the space. We need to create the space.
The redevelopment will involve demolishing old wooden stores and replacing them with permanent block structures, proper roofing, and a fully paved market floor, ensuring traders and customers can operate comfortably even during heavy rains.
Gideon, who and so especially Yamfo, Yamfo.
They are higher check. If you say a ball, a boom, a bimus swap brief, a bontain, and other bed, ever good gentleman. Yes, you are pomoding way a day, and yes, there are this on come. No one and one day, no one to my. To facilitate, this will be temporarily relocated.
Well, no, and would I pay a good job? No. I said, and to the doctor say, or do they want us to have a job? Hammer, yet I nechi, or my, no forgetting to 2 day quiet, my near quiet media no more.
The MP has assured the market community of a transparent process with all current traders to be registered and given priority when the new stores are allocated.
Doctor, dear, or can't wait, San say. E maybe a chemono on a dear boy be good hamaya and she and Tia songa cracker. In the Empire Bowman, say Yamman and Wardane, no may ye a gay and famaye.
You did now some to walk us over there. You would did us from Cosa over there, over Yamay. Nah, yes, I hear security. Nah, council for us or come your
For traders who have endured years of hardship, the announcement brings renewed hope that soon the Yamfo market will no longer symbolize neglect but progress.
Away from that, Ghana has stepped up efforts to diversify its agricultural economy with a renewed focus on expanding coconut production and positioning the country to take advantage of the projected $30 billion global coconut markets. With the world price of cocoa commodity declining amidst Ghana's struggle to meet cocoa production targets, coconut has been found to be yet another opportunity for the country. The Director of Presidential Initiatives in Agriculture and Agribusiness, Dr. Peter Boama-Utokuno, disclosed this during the Coconut Development Initiative training program for hundreds of registered coconut farmers held in Koforidua in the Eastern region. Colleague Kojansa reports.
Ghana currently cultivates about 90,000 hectares of coconuts, producing approximately 500,000 metric tons annually. Government's medium-term target is to double the total cultivated area to boost production and increase Ghana's competitiveness on a global market. Speaking at a training workshop in Koforidua, Director of Presidential Initiatives in Agriculture and Agribusiness, Dr. Peter Boama-Utokuno, indicated that the global coconut market is valued between 25 to 30 billion US dollars, stressing that Ghana must strategically position itself to capture a significant share.
That means that we are very well positioned, and if more effort is put in there, we could take over the global export market. The total value of the coconut market is between 25 billion, and in the next few years it will reach about 30 billion. That is a 30 billion market. I mean, you can't wait to take advantage of that market, and Ghana can't wait. And that is the vision of His Excellency the President, to take advantage of this 30 billion market and be able to get Ghana to lead. And so if we are going to lead, it will mean that we will not only produce the coconut and sell it on the streets, but we have to produce the coconut for industry, where coconut industry will now be using the coconut water for beverages. They will be using the coconut fruit, or the what we call the coconut meat, which is worth almost about 7 billion US dollars. The meat alone. The water is about 8 billion US dollars. And the husk, the one we throw away, It's almost about 5.8 billion US.
Eastern Regional Minister Rita Kushia-Jiawate commended the initiative and expressed optimism that the training would introduce new and improved methods of cultivation to farmers.
Together for training to more new developmental ways of planting their coconuts. As a country, we are increasing pace to develop new crops, and coconut has been in the country over a long period of time, but over time, because we have not developed ways of improving its growth, it's coming down. But with this initiative, we believe that our farmers gathered here today are going to learn new methods of planting the coconut.
Coconut Development Initiative is being supported by the Ghana Exim Bank and the Coconut Federation of Ghana as part of broader efforts to strengthen agribusiness and reduce poverty through sustainable agriculture. GHOne, Kofredia.
And that wraps up the business brief this evening on News Tonight.
Business brief was brought to you by Ghana, passion for technology.
In sports this evening, Kumasi Asante Kotoko will face their ARC rivals Accra Hearts of Oak at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium on Sunday at 5 p.m. in the Ghana Premier League. Now, ahead of tomorrow's game, Kotoko's interim manager, Prince Owusu, who took charge of training after coach Karim Zita resigned on Monday, says the team is hoping to make amends and get a win for the fans.
We have to make amendment.
Obians, coach Didi Dramani expects a tough game, but is focused on getting all 3 points to keep their title hopes alive.
In House of Hope, and then Asante Kotoko, devoid of their standards.
Predictions from some fans who have been speaking to EIB Sports.
Always been a Phobia fan. As someone born and bred in Accra, I would always support Phobia, so I am tipping House of Hope to win by 3-1.
Match in there, a bear come up. Now, the Etienne said, born here fair officiating, and a bema grona there. We say a man from Copac, we say left right, we say left right. Yes, left no bitch in a moon say, baby, Ninim Diaco only match in the good football. Now, Kotokone Arsenal and some O'Donnell, some games in games, said a Kotokobini, and found only coach I win you, Kotokobesha.
Match in our moon is among you say your coach.
country. Omutra yomudo. We are Santamai and they had to go back. They are Santamai now and they had to go back.
You just heard from some fans there, and I'm actually very confident that Kumasi Asante Kotoko will take the lead come Sunday tomorrow. Let's do GHOne now. Now, Valentine's Day is often celebrated as a day of love with flowers, chocolates, and romantic gestures. But in Ghana, it also exposes the many complexities behind relationships, from the joy of thoughtful gifts and carefully planned dates to the stress of meeting expectations and the unspoken pressures on givers and receivers alike. The day can highlight both the beauty and the challenges of love. For some, it is a time to celebrate commitment and shared moments, while for others, it can bring heartbreak, unresolved conflicts, or the quiet reminders of relationships that have ended. In a season that often focuses on public display of affection, Valentine's Day in Ghana reveals the private stories of efforts, sacrifice, hope, and sometimes disappointments that exist behind every love story. My colleague Nanaya Wasari has more in this report.
Mom is at home, so maybe later then you bring it here. Don't know between only Obano. Say Obano Tiwasi now to Tinasia. Then Odono a but say Moon Tim was here. Moon ya Odono, Moon relationship now more common.
Odo she any pound or head. Now she one question any papa so I'll be do. What the no do before.
Although Valentine's Day has grown into one of the biggest events on the social calendar, gifting remains at the center of the celebration. Traditionally, women have been viewed as the primary recipients, with societal expectations placing the responsibility of expressing love largely on men. However, as relationships evolve, more women are embracing the role of givers, while some men are openly speaking about the pressure and expectations that accompany the occasion.
Yes, she has been doing it, actually she has been doing it. It isn't that my wife has been showing love more than I, the family member.
I've never ever received like a gift from someone. Never. From like a girl or something.
I've been doing it, not only Val's Day, but normally on his birthday too, I do that, yeah.
Despite the focus on grand gestures and public displays of affection, Valentine's Day can also heighten feelings of loneliness. For some individuals, the season
2019 in Tema Secondary School. I had this girl, Cassandra. Yeah, she was very nice to me. So after we completed school, she just traveled to Canada. 3 months or something, I didn't hear from the girl. So I just buy new phone and I was on Instagram. What I see was she was taking some mirror picture with a white man's son. And I was very, very, very broken-hearted. So I just find a way to get a number and quite so, oh, but I can't continue this relationship with you because you are in Ghana, you don't have anything to do. Even way back in school, you didn't take care of me. So now I'm getting someone who can take care of me. He has even rent apartment for me now. I was like, oh, Sandra, so upon there,
upon the love and the way we suffer in SHS. You are just doing this to me, so now you can say anything you want. I'll give you. And I was like, oh, okay. Then if you can give me 2,000 right now, I'll just forgive you because I want to take you to who so that they can kill you. And he was like, you don't want to give me your bank account number. I'll give you 2,000. And I was like, I don't have some. So that day, I just rushed to the commercial bank and the open just. Yeah, right. She gave me the 2,000 and I just forgive her.
While the day is meant to celebrate love, it also exposes the realities many couples face, from financial pressure to unresolved conflicts that surface during emotionally charged moments. Nanayao Asare, GHOne News.
Studios, I am Tutuwaa Danso. Now, not even a morning's downpour could stop the show of love at the Abra Sports at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra. On Valentine's Day, EIB Network Kasapa 102.5 FM and Ago TV staged its much-anticipated Val's Day Spread the Love Street edition. Benedict Wiafe Ano was at the event and has father's reports.
The celebration of love took a grand display at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle as hundreds joined EIB Network's Kasapa FM and Ago TV to celebrate care for one another. Free health screening with food and entertainment highlighted the celebration. Human Resource Manager of the EIB Network, Dorcas Kwao, assured the event will be an annual one to spread the love to more people in need.
It's actually going to be an annual thing. For my information, we are actually going to be partnering with the municipal community, so we are able to even do other programs, because we heard that in this enclave, the serious problem here is the taking of red, for which we want to bring a lot of psychologists, etc., to come in, other doctors to come in, and then do a lot of screening and give help to these people who are in the community.
Programs Manager for Kasapa FM and Ago TV, Reynold Kwame B. Mpe, added that the major goal was to bring hope to the people on the streets.
Ms. Val's Day, so by now, say, like one-on-one movement. So just imagine, you don't have that one. When that one is away from the equation, you know how it's going to be lonely for you. And we know that there are a lot of people who will not have the opportunity to experience that love and feel so good on a Val's Day. So we decided that we're coming to the people here to also show them some love.
Some of the beneficiaries present expressed appreciation for the love and care they received from the food and health screening.
We are dancing competition. We compliment to say, Miss Mary, now so me that rather say, Miss Mary, me dance.
Manu tramos, my paya, me check, me never 10 years. It's me so many yale, my main train my yale moment to answer my casa me go hospital. And I miss him pam banaja. Me baba check it. Me ba so me usampa. I'm a fab edumane goso. Me ba nya me chari, I check me, I see me mode me, I say me dro. Asa me dwane se me ngina me nkodi etimani ate pa fada me sakara mi pebia mana me ade na me so ne se adopter for no ye good because me ka chen se ana pay dey me dey ready me no bi egum by me pa no chon me se be so kan kwenche na me so le nko ono so eno pay me ni problem ko me ye we o se to me for se ready me no 4 5 me nte so na me no 2 na me so
The Val's Day Spread the Love Street Edition is set to be an annual event spearheaded by EIB Networks, Ago TV and Kasapa FM.
Let's get some updates from the foreign front now. Ishimie has been elected chairperson of the African Union for 2026. taking over from Angola's Wao Lorenco. Now, this election took place at the 39th Ordinary Session of the AU Assembly of Heads of States and Government in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with President John Dramani Mahama elected first vice chairperson. In his acceptance speech, President Ndayishimiye emphasized the urgency of advancing continental unity and integration while underscoring Africa's need for financial self-reliance. He stressed the importance of accelerating flagship initiatives on industrialization, agricultural transformation, infrastructure development, and energy expansion, key pillars for sustainable growth. He highlighted water security and sanitation as strategic priorities, describing access to safe water as essential for public health, food security, stability, and inclusive development. Ndayishimiye also reaffirmed the AU's commitment to promoting peace, condemning unconstitutional changes of government, and supporting populations affected by conflict in Sudan, the Sahel, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, and Somalia. The new AU chair pledged to work closely with AU institutions, member states, and continental partners to deliver measurable results aligned with the Vision Agenda 2063, while addressing the aspirations of Africa's youth, women, and civil society. And that's how we draw the curtain this evening on News Tonight. Thank you so much for your time. But there's more news for you when you visit starfm.com.gh. I am Tutuwaa Danso. This bulletin was produced by Eko Boache. Happy Valentine's and